Hey guys, welcome to Halftime. Now today we've got such an interesting segment coming your way. We had the chance to talk to a group of York University students who actually got to pitch their entire marketing plan to Inter Milan. Now we headed to York University a couple of weeks ago and this is what we learned. You're actually the person in charge of this project. Where did this idea come from?
Well, the idea basically came from the fact that I really wanted to ensure when I started teaching that my students have an opportunity to really display their talents and show the industry what they can do. And at the same time, I wanted to leverage a lot of the contacts that I have in the sports industry. So I put the two together and I decided, let's turn all these great benefits into a real tangible opportunity for students to demonstrate their abilities and show what they can do. And ultimately, if the recommendations are implemented by the companies, it benefits not only the companies, but also the students that made those recommendations. So it's a win-win situation.
What do you think are some of the challenges that working with Italian league soccer teams have given the students?
I think the challenges are the fact that just by virtue of being not in this market, it's a great learning opportunity because it makes them look beyond what they know here. It's a way for them to step out of their comfort zone and be attuned to what's happening in the real world beyond what they're experiencing in this market.
What was your participation in the project? What were you in charge of?
So I was looking at social media and fan clubs in the US region specifically. So what they've been doing in terms of social media and what they could really work on was the main part of my thing.
And what do you think they could work on?
So I think Inter has a really established social media presence, but they don't have authentic messaging with players involved or the team management involved. So one thing they could do more is have players interact with the audience. So maybe allow players to take over the social media such as Instagram, Snapchat, and more so ever.
We learned that in the US, although soccer is considered the 5th biggest sport, there's actually a very strong market with I think over 40 million fans. And over half the fans were actually millennials. So we feel like targeting a younger audience is something that Inter Milan could really get into and really leverage for their opportunity when they come to the US.
Here's Lautaro to curve one in! Can't stop scoring!
Take us through your participation in the project presenting to Inter Milan.
For sure. So I was mostly in charge of talking about how Inter Milan could leverage their athletes, both current and previous. So we looked at 3 specific athletes, and we thought that because of the market that we're targeting, I think the ethnicity of the athletes would definitely have an effect. So Romelu Lukaku is definitely a superstar. Everybody knows him with his time at Man United, and he is a similar player in nature to Paul Pogba, where he is ingrained in the culture of the United States. You know, he is active on social media and he is aware of how the culture operates. Other players such as Lautaro Martinez and Diego Godin, those players definitely resonate with the Hispanic population within the United States, being Uruguayan and other Hispanic nationalities. Because of the population that is present in the United States, those 2 players, if Inter Milan leverages them, they will be able to be successful in that nature.
And what did you learn during this entire process? What was one of the takeaways that perhaps you learned about presenting to an international market?
So for example, Inter's slogan is not for everyone, which it shows bravery and the 5 aspects that they stand for. But for example, with the racism issue, if they're trying to leverage it into the Western culture, where we're trying to stand for inclusiveness, it could be seen differently. So that's why we had to work around that and just give them a different strategy as its suggestion.
And from talking to representatives from Inter, how much of a priority do they see Canada and the United States now?
It's definitely a huge priority, especially with what's happened with the English Premier League teams as well as the La Liga teams. We see how much they've grown in the Western market. So definitely the Serie A teams are looking to develop in the Western market as well.
Did you find any place for them in Canada?
So we did actually pitch Toronto as an opportunity because Toronto is the #1 soccer city in the country. And we feel that it would also really reflect the atmosphere and the fan base that we have here in the city.
Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you head to tln.ca/soccer to get the entire schedule. And as always, enjoy the rest of the match.